So this is my Perfect Cell 2.0 using some cards from set 3. So as you can see, Cell Leader. The strategy of the deck is more based off the main deck than the Leader. The Leader just really good card, so why not, right? His front side, active main, once per turn, place one card from your hand under this card. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 3 or less and KO that card. You awaken when you have 4 or less life, and you draw 2 cards and flip this card over. In his awakened form, active main 1, once per turn, place one card from your hand under this card to draw 2 cards. And active main effect 2, once per turn, place 2 cards from under this card into your drop area. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO that card. So relatively straightforward. You got a way to remove battle cards off from your opponent's side of the field, and you have ways to keep your hands nice and full. So on to the main deck. We got the cell chain. So we got the cell lineup. We got Perfect Cell, obviously. When you play this card, if your leader card is an android, your opponent must choose cards from their hands and send them to the drop area until they only have 3 left. It's a 30k double strike, which is pretty good. But you definitely want to use that effect to reduce your opponent's hand size. Then you have Evolving Evil Life Form Cell. Union Absorb. Place one Android 18 under this card in order to choose up to 1 cell from your deck and place it on top of this card, and then shuffle your deck afterwards. You can choose another Evolving Evil Life Form Cell and evolve it on top of this card, so you can get this card's auto effect, which is when you play, again, after you already got it the first time, right? Which is when you play this card with Union, draw 1 card, and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. And use a 20k double strike. So the fastest way to get the 5 and the 7 drop onto the field, relatively all in one turn, is with the Growing Evil Life Form Cell, of course. Union Absorb. Place 1 Android 17 from your hand under this card. Choose up to 1 cell with an energy cost of 5 or less from your deck and place it on top of this card and shuffle your deck. You can, don't know why you would, but you can put a Growing Evil Life Form Cell on top of an Evil Life Form, Growing Evil Life Form Cell. But you don't want to do that. Obviously, you want to go straight to the 5. Get the 5's effect of destroying your opponent's battle cards and getting a draw out of it. And then, you can evolve into another copy of it or go into the obvious Perfect Force Cell. The 17 and 18 that will be used in this deck will be the 15k critical ones, the 3-drop 17 and the 3-drop 18. Android 17 has the active main effect. Once per turn, pay 1 green. During that turn, if an opponent's battle card with an energy cost 3 or less has been placed in the drop area from any area by one of your skills, choose up to 1 Android 18 with an energy cost of 3 or less from your hand and play it. Which is, relatively good. Alright, the fact that he is critical, that's what you have to notice. The fact that he is critical, that's an effect that will send a card from your opponent's life to the drop area. Since it's going from one area, which is the life area, to the drop area, you will be able to trigger his active main ability from his critical effect, which will allow you to, again, obviously, summon a energy cost 3 or less. It'll let you play an Android 18 if an opponent's battle card has to be a battle card, can't be like an extra card. It has to be a battle card with energy cost 3 or less. is sent to the graveyard from your opponent's life. From his critical ability, you'll be able to choose up to one Android 18 with an energy cost of 3 or less from your hand and play it. And of course, the other that we do play, the 3-drop Android 18. She has 15k critical, and she has the active main effect. Once per turn, play 1 green. During that turn, if an opponent's battle card with an energy cost 4 or more has been placed into the drop area from any area by one of your skills, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost 3 or less and KO that card. So this is a way of keeping your, one, obviously combo wise, you'll be able to swarm the field with 17 and 18, and then you will also be able to get rid of any high cost battle cards and, from your opponent's battle area, as well as you'll be able to get rid of any low cost battle cards from your opponent's life, through the effect of crit. So you have some field control. You have control of your opponent's field, and you have control of his life, which is what I'm trying to say. And of course, you can use 17, 18, obviously, for the cell chain. So obviously, alright, moving on to the other androids in the deck. Android 15, the 3-drop one. When you play this card, your opponent chooses one card from the hand and throws it into the drop area. Unfeeling Destroyer Android 15. He's the 20k 4-drop one. When you play this card, your opponent chooses one card from the hand and places it into the drop area. Obviously, these two 15s will help you trigger the Android 17 and 18's ability, because you are dropping a card from your opponent's hand area to their drop area, right? If that card is a battle card with an energy cost 4 or more that was dropped to the drop area by Android 15's ability, you get to draw a card. So while your opponent is losing a card, you can gain a card. Then we have the super combo Stout-Hearted Android 16 auto. When you combo with this card, if your leader card is a green android, which it is, because Cell is a special trait android, and he's green, obviously. And if your life is 4 or less, your opponent chooses one card from their hand and places into the drop area, and this card gains 10k combo power for the duration of the turn. So obviously this just helps with the whole making your opponent lose cards concept of the deck. It's all about attacking the hand, so it makes it hard for them to build a board, and then you get rid of whatever's on the board, so that way they have barely anything to battle with. They don't have nothing they can attack with. They barely have any cards in their hands to defend with. So that way you can go in and get a lot of attacks in there and reduce the life points to 0, right? Then we got the 1-drop Dr. Gero, Evil's Inventor. When you play this card, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, up to the top 3 cards of your deck, and choose up to 1 android among them and add it to your hand, and then shuffle the rest back into your deck. Dr. Gero is not an android himself, because he's Dr. Gero. He's not the Android 20 version. He can't, add himself through his effect, but he can add any of the other androids in the deck. 16, 15, of course 18, 17, and he can add the cells, because Cell's special trait is android. This is not like the Android 20 version, which only lets you add android by name card. So this will let you get any of the cells, which is very useful, especially if you're trying to get to the 3-drop cell. This will help you get closer to getting to that. To help you get closer to getting your combo pieces and your strategy. Obviously we have the 1-drop extra card, create android, active main. If your leader card is an android, and Cell is an android by special trait, draw. 2 cards, then place 1 card from your hand into the drop area. You typically want to discard a battle card because of the next card will help you minimize the so-called card loss, right? So you'll get 2 cards from this by discarding a card, and then you could play the 4-drop to extra card to save a hopeful future which have active main. Choose up to 1 green battle card with an energy cost of 5 or less in your drop area and play it. Besides the 6-drop Broly and the 7-drop Perfect Force Cell, which cannot be brought back by the hopeful future extra card, all the other cards in the deck can. The 5 drops, the 3 drops, the more 3 drops, 4 drop, 3 drop, 2 drop, 1 drop can be brought back. And of course you will get their effects because this card states and you play it, right? You choose a battle card and you play it. And when the battle cards are played, you get their effects, right? You can't use it to bring back, obviously, EO Lifeform Cell and then try to get the pop in the draw, because he only gets that effect if you union him, obviously. But besides that, you'll relatively get all your other effects. Yeah, it'd be awesome if you can get Cell, if you could bring him back with this, but this is mainly for a lot of your smaller cards. Obviously you can bring back your Android 15s and make a point of discard a card. That's always good. But the 17s and 18s are relatively good options, obviously. And then of course we have the 4-drop extra card Cell Absorption, because you gotta keep control of your opponent's hands. You gotta have control. Don't let your opponent have control, right? So this is always a good card to play after you attack your opponent with some double strike, or let's say you're attacking with the leader or something. You deal them damage, so they draw a card. Then you can play this to mitigate that. It's really good that we have the androids have the 17 and 18 have critical, because that helps with the whole controlling your opponent's hand. You don't want them to get hand advantage. You want to keep your hand advantage up and reduce theirs. And then of course we got the 6-drop, 2 copies of Broly, the Rampage and Horror, because why not have an extra finisher in the deck, right? A 30k double strike. Auto, when you play this card, choose up to 2 cards from your opponent's hands at random and place them into dropper. And that's awesome, the whole randomness of it. And it's just another card. Since it's a 6-drop, you'll have a better chance of hard casting this and get its effect before you even get a chance to hard cast Perfect Force Cell, And that's the end of the deck profile.